Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, back to preview with you some recent flea market finds. And I was out, we're getting into almost the fall now. We starting to see some things that are like garage sale cleanouts. With the recent flooding that we've had from the hurricane, that's become a little bit more active. The fall season seems to be brief, but we do seem to find more tackle as we see the fall approach, whether it's people just getting rid of what they were using over the summer, trying to upgrade their gear, or whether it's just cleanouts of sheds and getting prepped for the winter, organizing the garage, cleaning out their basements, and so on. So a lot of that stuff folks find or take the opportunity to go down to a flea market and sell. And I've got some purchases here that happened this past weekend, and I wanted to show them with you and tell you which ones we'll kind of work on as some YouTube how to repair fishing reel projects. Before I get started, I want to thank our first responders and essential personnel and everybody who's keeping us safe during the pandemic. The uniformed services, fire, rescue, police, all of the folks in the medical fields, in the hospitals, in the long-term care and acute facilities, and even the GP offices. Thank you for everything it is that you're doing. And with the vaccination sites, the folks that are manning those and making sure that those that are eligible can get the vaccine, thank you for all that is that you do. Well, I ran into a bunch of rods and reels. Net on it is that there's a few here that are kind of unique. I wanted to share them with you. None of them were very expensive. Most of them just seem like we're old. Here's an example. The first one up then was it's an Abu Cardinal 763. It's a quick cast reel. I tested it. It works. You can tell it hasn't been fished in quite some time because there's a lot of dirt and debris on that reel, and the monofilament line has yellowed. So we're going to probably do this one. I'm going to have to go back and check my library, but I don't think I have one for the Cardinal series. And this is kind of interesting. When Abu wanted to go to a spinning reel, it was able to get the Cardinal, but it wanted to use Garcia early on, and Garcia had the distribution rights in the U.S. and when you saw that when Abu wanted to do it, Garcia was associated with Mitchell, and they couldn't distribute the Abu reels. So you started to see the Cardinals that Abu was making in Sweden distributed by Zebco. So you see a Zebco by Abu. This is a Cardinal 6. And then eventually those distribution arrangements ended. It ended with the Garcia bankruptcy. It ended with a Mitchell bankruptcy. Abu, over time, purchased Garcia, and they were able to manufacture the stuff themselves. So this is a rear drag reel. It's a quick release reel, which means it has one stop on the anti-reverse. This one is in need of some service, so we're going to go ahead and service that and make a video out of that. Well, I've got about 6 or 7 of these that I got. None of them too expensive, but each one of them pretty interesting. So this is what actually drew me. This one was a garage sale. It actually drew me to it. Whenever I see the red buttons up top, I'm thinking I'm seeing a damn quick reel, because this would be a quick spool. And even though from a distance it kind of looks the same, I realized when I got up close that I really was looking at a South Bend reel, and I think I've done this South Bend reel. This one was missing the handle, but it started the conversation. You know, I asked the fellow how much he wanted. He said, well, it's just a parts reel and just a couple of dollars. And we agreed that was fine. And then he said, you might as well take the top of the pole too. And so this one goes up there with my garage sale finds. What did I find? I found at the top of the pole was a St. Croix, and it was a St. Croix Viking, and that kind of made my day, right? So a couple of bucks, and I've got a St. Croix Viking rod, and if I find a handle, I may even have one of these somewhere around. If I find a handle for the South Bend, chances are I've got a nice combination. It's indicative of the 1970s. So I'm going to check to see if I can find a handle. I'm going to check my library to see if I've done the South Bend. If I haven't, I'll try and do that. Next one was a beautiful boat reel. I can't get this in here. It's a 7-foot boat rod, no reels associated with it. What was a curiosity was it's a custom rod. It's marked as Capital, New York City. Maybe we can get this in. Capital, New York City, and $37. Then on the back it's dated by, I guess Mike must have owned it. And it says 1982. So I've got almost a 40-year-old rod here. And Capital Sporting Goods is still in New York City. It's one block up. It's on the back side of Macy's around 35th or 36th Street. Still in business today. Custom rod. I'm going to keep this one. This one just is kind of a memory. I have a couple of rods I don't fish. I just put memories on, and I've been in that Capital store enough times to say that's a memory worth keeping. Next one up is a mid, I'm going to guess 80s. It's when this kind of design was in here for bait casting reels. This one is a Zebco reel, the Zebco Mercury. I hope it's not made out of mercury because all of the coating on this one is kind of bubbled. It's almost like it's a bad plastic decal that they used to use for window tinting. It's just kind of an odd thing. There is some flaking going on there. That's why I say I hope it's not mercury. I'm not sure if this reel was ever painted or if it just had a plastic applique on it, whatever that word is. And it works. All of the reels and rods work. So one of the things you want to do when you're going for purchasing at flea markets is check them out. Make sure they work. This one actually works. Yeah, spinning it backwards and bird nesting it already. But my guess is this one's probably from the 80s, kind of based on the design. And I'll probably do this one. I haven't seen a Zebco low-profile bait caster reel from the time. But again, this bubbling is just very interesting on it. I don't know if that's if it was just a single kind of heat-treated polymer or something that was put on for the finish or whatever it is. At any rate, right now it almost looks like camouflage or something going on there. I had the opportunity when I was buying that Capital rod to also buy a every man's deep sea reel, which is the Penn 60 Long Beach. These never go out of style. These are fantastic reels. This one's on a nice rod. It's a rod that's called a Quick Stick. It's out of Chicago, FSG Chicago. And this one's got a lot of greening on it, but we've seen before that some flits pre-clean and a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of work will put get all that greening off of it and put that reel back in pretty nice condition. So I'll work on that one. I've done plenty of Penn reels, lots of Long Beach reels, and we'll probably not do that one as a video, but if you would like to see it, please check my library. Next one up looks like this one's been sitting around forever. I'm not sure it can be saved. We're going to give it a chance. It's the Pflueger Summit. It's on a very unique pole. It's a Grant Sport pole. This one looks like this pole is set up for ocean fishing and not this reel. But it's got the little forefinger grip here for casting. So that's not sure. Don't know enough about it. There's no butt on the back of it to speak of, like we saw with that Viking saltwater rod. So I'm a little bit curious about this because the Summit reel seems to be mismatched to this pole. So that's a frozen one. I'm not sure if that's just going to be a parts reel or if we might find something else with it. We showed you one a while ago in one of my videos. This one is the Bantam by Shimano. It's a nice reel, and somebody obviously was spray painting something in their facility. They've got blue spray paint all over it. Sometimes I like to clean them up. Sometimes I like to leave them just as they are because they tell stories, right? This one's a nice functioning reel. Everything works smoothly. And whether I choose to clean that blue paint off or not, I don't know. Some of it may come off. I don't know if I want to spend the time doing that. I probably will do the video on this one or the other ones I did a preview on earlier. I showed you a group of reels that my uncle had passed on to me, and he has some Shimano Bantams in there, so I don't know if I'll do one of those or do this one. I will definitely get to the Shimano Bantams. Got another one here as well. I think this one wins Unique Design Award. This is an Abu. This is an Ambassador. It's the Mag Plus XT. This is just one of those things from the 1980s. I'm thinking just design feature-wise. It almost looks like it's a bow tie kind of a design on it. It's the big hulking ones in terms of low-profile baitcasters. Interestingly enough, a reel this size now for a baitcaster is going to be considered a saltwater reel. Again, it works. That's the important thing to me, is that they work. This one works. So probably take this one apart just and add it to the curiosity pile. It's on a Zebco rod. That's a curiosity why you got a Zebco rod and a Ambassador reel on it, but that's okay. It works. And then I saved the best for last because it goes into my oddity pile. And this one truly is odd. This one is a Zebco. It's a Zebco 88. And this is one big reel. And the interesting thing is, it's integral to the pole. And I've seen it a couple of times. They actually made a Penn Senator that was integral to the pole. I've had a Daiwa one where the pole was, the reel was bolted in. That's the only way you could work it off the reel seat. And this one, the Zebco 88, definitely a lot of UV fade on it. It turns, but I'm not saying it's going to turn efficiently. It looks like to service this reel, you're going to somehow probably unscrew it here. And then it's got a little clasp on this side and a clasp on this side. It looks like it'll come off the top of that the pole would separate in two pieces to get at the inner workings of this. And I'm going to try my best to make this one work. I'm also going to try my best to do a little bit more in terms of understanding the history of this pole, when it was sold. And again, to me, it's an oddity. If the reel breaks, the pole's useless. If the pole breaks, the reel's useless. So just kind of an oddball thing like that. So we'll try to do a video on this one, and hopefully we'll all be entertained by a little bit more that I can find out in terms of history and the like. So that's the findings of the weekend. Some of them have been pretty interesting. A couple of them more commonplace. If you'd like to see them, the best way to see them is to subscribe to my channel. And if you do subscribe, hit the notifications. That way you'll see when I'm posting these. And if you have one in particular that you'd like to see that maybe I said I wasn't going to feature, let me know that as well. And I'll try and do a video, time permitting, to cover that reel in addition to the ones that I plan to do the video on. If you have questions on these reels or any reel in particular, and you can ask them of me, please use the comments section. Leave that question there. I do try to respond to all the questions in the comments section, and I try to do that on a timely basis. So I try to get back to you, whether it's on these reels, maybe you're working on a reel and you're stuck or have an issue or you just can't figure something out. I'll try to guide you along the way, and if I can't, maybe I'll at least give you some references where you can go find that stuff. And then finally, if you have a reel that needs to be repaired, well, I do that by mail. And if you contact me using my email on the business card that follows, I'll be happy to provide you with that repair information. So, kind of an unusual weekend. Some oddball finds out there, some that I'll be working on. I ask all of you to please stay safe, stay well, stay watching, and have a great day. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.